our new mayor, Olivia Chow, with the orange government. How do you feel about that, anyways? Start there.
I don't even know who this is.
Huh? Olivia Chow.
She doesn't pay my bills. So
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you said that, because there's a lot of people who blame who the mayor is and who the prime minister and the president is.
Victims.
That's a victim mentality. It's actually a loser's mentality, because you're putting the blame on someone else. Like, I'm here to say it. Like, if you are blaming who the fucking mayor is, or the prime minister, or the president for the lack of success you're having, that's a fucking loser's mentality. Period. Look, I know it might have something to do with, like the rates going up, and okay, I'm not doing as many sales, and that comes down from the government and all that shit. But at the end of the day, we know a lot of people that are having some of their best years. So if you're blaming now the prime minister, the president, or the mayor, like, there's nothing for me more to say than it's a loser's mentality.
Completely.
And I love that you said a victim mentality, because that also plays into just a scarcity mentality, that there's not enough out there. Okay, so Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow's executive committee voted Tuesday in favor of creating a new municipal tax on foreign home buyers who purchase property in Toronto. If approved, so it's not fully approved yet, by the full council next month, the municipal non-resident speculation tax would make foreign nationals pay an additional 10% on the purchase price of residential property starting in January 2025. It's an issue that's been well debated by other levels of government, and the executive committee members today endorsed it without much debate, because it's been talked about for quite a few years, which is true. They've been talking about adding this for a while. Vancouver already has it. Vancouver already has it in place. Ontario's just, or Toronto specifically, if it's the mayor that's pushing this, it's the mayor of Toronto. It's a change that we should have made before. I'm glad that we're doing it. So one of the main reasons that they're going to want to add this is because their fear is that there's a lot of foreign home buyers, okay, that are kind of parking money here, or that are investors, right, and that this will open up more inventory. When you open up more inventory for the people who are living in the city, then the value comes down. It makes housing more affordable. There's more of something that brings the value down. Obviously, in Toronto, for really the last 20 years, we've had a massive shortage of inventory. Okay, it's just, you go through your little dips, but overall, I think everybody would agree there's a shortage. Okay? What they're trying to do by putting this new speculation tax, which would essentially cost foreign home buyers. Right now, there's a ban. I should take a step back. Right now, currently, there's a ban on foreign home buyers. Right. It was for 2 years, came out in January. It was in effect of January 2023. It ends starting January 2025, hence why they want to say, okay, we're going to open up the ban, like there won't be a ban anymore.
But you're paying 10 points more.
But you're paying 10 points. So on an average, it's going to cost somebody, if you take an average single family home right now of about 1.1 million, it's $110,000. It's going to cost a foreign home buyer to buy a property here. Personally, I actually think it's a good idea. Because if it opens up more inventory for the people that are living here, that's a great idea. Like, values will come down a little bit. You also then have the cost of borrowing coming down. Even from an investor's perspective here, they can get a little less rent. Every property, every area and every situation is obviously different. Here's why I don't think it's actually going to help, though. And the reason is because contrary to what everyone's believing, that we have a lot of foreign home buyers here, like either from India, the Middle East, China, it only really makes up approximately 2%. It's actually less than that, but let's just say round it up to 2% of the properties that are bought here. So it's not a lot. It's not a huge number. In fact, if we look at our last decade, so a good sample size, right? I'm not talking about the whole Toronto Real Estate Board, not all real estate in the country, just us at REC Canada. In the last decade, we've helped a little over 3,500 families, okay? Let me just make sure I did the math there right. That's just our core group. But in total, with our 60 agents, we do approximately 600 homes we help 600 families every single year. So we're at about 6,000 total, okay? In 10 years. Out of that 6,000, I think like maybe 2 people
We're outside of Canada.
were outside of Canada. Right. So it's not that huge of a number.
Right.
So I get why they're talking about it, but every time they bring some of these speculation taxes, i.e. even the Toronto tax that they said that they were only going to bring in, Toronto land transfer tax, they said they're only going to bring it in for a couple of years. It's been here. Be careful. Anytime the government adds a new tax, history has shown us it's not for the short period of time. Like, income tax, like from the States, like in the States when they first originally came out with it, I think it was 1945. Give me a sec here. I want to see. I want to quickly search this. 1 second. When was income tax introduced in USA? Watch this. July 2nd, 1909.
1909.
No, that's not right, man. I've seen a different number. I think it was like 1940 or something. Bear with me here. So when did tax start in in Canada, it started in 1917.
1917.
Yeah. Okay, but when it was, here it is. There you go. 90%. No, this is 1944. So 1909, the government said it was only going to be brought in for a couple of years, just to spur the economy.
1949?
1909.
1909.
1909. The government brought it in just to say that it was going to be, we're just spurring the economy.
I bit my tongue there.
Exactly.
I bit my tongue.
Yeah. No, you don't need to. Go. What are you thinking?
Just like COVID.
Talk to me.
Couple of weeks, we're going to lock everything.
Right.
Same thing.
Right.
Same thing.
It's funny how that worked out. Okay. So anyway, speculation tax. In theory, I think it's a good idea. However, personally, I just don't think that it's going to have a massive effect in terms of what they want to do, which is make housing more affordable. There's one thing that's going to help housing affordability: more properties, more housing being built faster.
I was going to ask a question.
Yeah.
To the people that run this country: Chow, Ford, Trudeau.
Yeah. Well, Chow runs the city.
Instead of endorsing these 10% speculation taxes on foreign home buyers, why can't we just remove the red tape? Why can't we just build more homes?
Yep.
Why can't we just remove the red tape of kicking out a bad tenant? Remember, we talked about this the last podcast.
That was a couple of podcast episodes ago. Yeah.
Landlords are fearful of renting out their units to tenants because they fear that their tenant's not going to pay for 10 months and get away with it and nothing's going to happen to them. Therefore, there are less rental units on the market, or there are more landlords that are more picky when it comes to choosing a tenant. This is what causes up this pent-up demand in the market. And all of this red tape.
And my personal opinion, brother, in terms of the red tape, the reason they don't do that is because not everyone's going to get their pockets lined. You get what I'm saying? Like, meaning that's how money moves behind the scenes.
Yes, I get that. That's why I'm asking them directly.
Yeah, I know. But
show us Wagwan, you know?
Exactly. And they're not going to do that shit. And that's what I think the major problem is, because we should be able to build shit quicker here.
Completely.
It takes 10 years, man, from an application to, some say, for a shovel to go in the ground. Okay? I've heard it's actually like application to when the building gets built, but it doesn't matter. The building being built is only like 2-3 years. Like when you notice a shovel goes on the ground, they build shit pretty quickly. The point is
and that's
long. A condo.
Right.
But like a subdivision it's too long. It's way too long. And it's based on what people want to make. They want to make sure that everyone gets a little envelope along the way. That's the fucking problem.
Everyone's skimming off the top.
100%. Otherwise, why would it take so long?
The people that end up holding the tag
is the end consumer.
Yeah. Canadian citizens.
Oh. If you found that video valuable and you want to watch the full discussion, click here for my podcast. If you want to watch more videos, click here.